Good morning. This is optical fiber communication DET 3202. So, one second, I will have the good morning. This is optical fiber communication DET 3202. We will start today the unit 6. Yesterday we have started unit 6 and we can have the continuation of the unit 6. Unit 6 contains the first point, that is networks, optical networks. So, course outcomes for the DET 3202. The students will be able to understand the different communication media, various blocks of and applications of the optical fiber communication system. Students will be able to understand the topics, rules and measure of the optical fiber cable parameters. Students will be able to identify suitable optical source for a given application. Students will be able to identify suitable optical detector for a given application. Students will be able to identify suitable connectors and measure the losses in the optical fiber cable. The students will be able to understand architecture of the optical networks for given applications. So, optical network is a basically communication network used to exchange information through the optical fiber cable between end to end into another end. So, it is one of the fastest network. Optical network is one of the fastest network in the data communication. The data signal through the optical fiber is transmitted in the form of light pulses. So, optical network are used in order to have optical signal transmission. So, need for the optical network. Why optical network is, as there are many networks already there, right from the microwave link and other networks and the satellite, etc. Then when there is availability of other communication networks, due to its advantage and ease of transmitting signal, the optical network is adopted or is having the need in the use. So, it is easily transmitting in the form of light pulses. So, what are the advantages of the optical network? An optical network transmission system supports high bandwidth. Okay. It is supporting high bandwidth. As we know, it is advantage of the optical communication system. Yesterday we have discussed on this. The transmitted signal can be transmitted to longer distances. So, as there is very low loss, so very long distance communication transmission is possible. And this networking system is more flexible and cost effective than the transmission systems. Okay. So, in today's internet area, the optical fiber communication network is broadly used. So, this is the optical network. So, there is a network, okay, and it is having the, as usually we know, the nodes are there and the network is connected with internally major links, major data carrying link. Those are called trunks. So, in between the nodes, the major data carrying links are there, that is trunks, and to the nodes different stations are connected. So, those stations may be individual terminals or maybe the small networks. So, this is the elements of an optical networks, elements of optical network. Okay, so this is usual network configuration. This network may be of any topology, this network may be of any category, maybe LAN, WAN, MAN, or international intercontinental network, and maybe having the hybrid topology, star topology, bus topology, ring topology, etc. Network is of any type where we can use the optical resources and it can become a optical network. Okay, so this is as usual network which you already studied in the network computer network, or you are studying and you must have already completed it, most of the sessions. So optical network, and network is basically composed of the elements like stations. Stations is an optical network serves as source and the destination of information being transmitted and received. The stations are nothing but the information sources and information receivers. Because it is bidirectional, you can send the information, you can retrieve the information, receive the information. As we know, clients or the end users or end devices, these will be stations, or the networks as the stations, small networks which are connected to the main optical communication network. So these may be stations. Stations are basically those devices that are used by users of the network. Okay, user of the network using the devices are nothing but stations which are connected to the optical network. For example, computer or any other telecommunication device. Computer or any other telecommunication device which is connected to the optical network, and that is station. Then optical network is basically composed of the other element, that is trunk. So trunk is basically a transmission line. As we have seen in the network, trunk is there. It is basically a transmission line, that is the optical fiber cable in order to transmit the optical signal. Transmission line, that is the optical fiber cable. In case of optical network, the transmission line is optical fiber cable. In case of the wired communication, transmission line may be the twisted pair, open pair, parallel wire, coaxial cable, waveguide may be there. In wireless, micro link may be there, satellite link may be there, and in optical fiber cable case, it is transmission line is optical fiber cable in order to transmit the optical signal. Trunk is basically transmission line. The network is composed of one of multiple trunks for signal transmission over large distance. So this is for self-healing. Always there are multiple trunks are there. Network composed of one or multiple trunks. Okay, at least one is required obviously, but multiple trunks are there. This is for self-healing, for the signal transmission in the large distance. So these multiple trunks are providing the parallel paths in the network, alternate paths. And it can have the parallel healing if required. If any network is having any of the issues for a particular path, then alternate paths will be taken by the network for continuing its functioning. So it is self-healing function. So this is trunk, which is basically transmission line, that is, in optical network case, it is optical fiber cable and its associated accessories. The optical network is basically composed of the elements. Again, the third is node. So node is nothing but that acts as a hub for the multiple transmission lines inside the network. Now this time you might have studied all this node and transmission path and all of the network, okay, in network theory. So node is nothing but that act as a hub for the transmission line inside the network. So hub is controlling the traffic in the network. So it is acting as a junction point where it routes the traffic. Suppose this device wants to communicate with this device, okay, then the traffic is routed to this device through hub, or whatever the data from various devices are getting propagating through the or getting transmitted through the network. All these data are properly routed and connected and organized managed the all sessions of the network, and it is done by hub. Okay, so node is nothing but it acts as a hub for the multiple transmission lines inside the network. Okay, so computer network theory you must be studying. Then in case of the single transmission line, an optical network, so those who are now not having the computer network theory this semester, you just go through the basic theory of the computer network, so that it will be helpful for you to understand the computer network as well as this chapter of the optical communication. So basic terms, whatever the terms in this chapter are there, though you can do this using the Google search also. So each term you can read and understand within 4-5 minutes or 10 minutes, just to have the role of this each term, each mechanism or machine or whatever protocol, rules, software, whatever. In case of single transmission line, instead of multiple, an optical network does not require nodes, isn't it? If multiple transmission lines are not there, this transmission line, this transmission, and they do not require any connecting or joining among each other, the hub or the node is not required. Okay, as this in this case the stations at both the ends can directly communicate to the fiber cables. So only one station is there and it want to communicate with other station, and only one cable is there, fiber cable. So in between the fiber cable, in between the two stations, there is no need of hub. Okay, so no hub is there, so only stations are there. Okay, so station 1 and 2, okay, no hub is there. Station 1 is there, station 2 is there. And there is a cable, no hub is required. So multiple paths are there, multiple transmission lines are there. Then in that the hub, it acting as a hub, some unit is acting as a hub, and that is a node. which is very similar to the node in your circuit and network. Multiple paths of the circuit are getting connected together, it is becoming a node. Nodal analysis, mesh analysis you are doing. Then the fourth of the optical fiber communication basically composed of some elements, and fourth element is its topology. What is the topology of optical network? Okay, so station will be there, trunks will be there, then nodes are there. Then fourth is topology. When multiple fiber cables are employed, okay, multiple cables are there, not single cable, multiple cable, then nodes are required, then topology is also required. In that optical network, then these are connected through nodes. Obviously, there are nodes only when multiple fiber cables are there. Just we have seen it. Then these are connected through the nodes. The way which multiple nodes are connected together denotes the topology of the network. How the multiple nodes are connected together, that is the topology of the network. Okay. So in which way the multiple connectors are connected, that is the topology. So you must have undergone the study of the topology, isn't it, in the computer network again. So we have to refer this computer network subject again and again, and these topologies are very simple to understand. So what are these topologies? Basically like star topology, okay, then bus topology, then ring topology, hybrid topology, isn't it? So these are the different topologies. Suppose we are having the node, and this node is connected with the multiple paths in this way. So fibers are connected to the single node. All the fibers are connected to the single node, and the devices for each fiber is connected. And those devices are then connecting through this node to other device, through this node to other device, isn't it? So this configuration is called star configuration, or it is the star topology. It is called star topology. So similarly, bus topology is there. There is a bus, and to this bus device is connected. To this bus device is connected. To this bus device is connected. Okay. So this device can communicate through the bus. This device communicate with other device through the bus. So in this way, this device communicate to other device through the bus. So this is bus topology. Similarly, there is a ring topology. One device is there, one more device is there, again some device is there, again some device is there, this device is there, some devices are there, and they are connected each other in the bus or ring fashion. Okay. And then devices itself becoming a nodes. Okay. So this is ring topology. Okay. And hybrid is there, in which bus is also there, ring is also there, star is also there. Okay. On the bus, ring, it may be the part of the ring. So it will become the hybrid topology. Okay. So it may have the other element like bus. Okay. So this is bus topology, star topology, ring topology. All together it is hybrid topology. Okay. So this is hybrid topology. So star, bus, ring, hybrid. Hybrid may have only star and ring, or only star and bus, or only bus and ring. Okay. Or all three star, or still further more topologies. So these are the topology. When multiple fiber cables are employed, an optical network, then these are connected through the nodes. The way which multiple nodes are connected, it is topology. In which way they are connected together, it is topology. Okay. So Next is the optical network, basically composed of some element, and that is router. Okay, so stations are there, trunks are there, nodes are there, topology is also there, and router is also there, which is need to understand one of the element in the optical network. So router is basically placed inside the optical network, and that provides a suitable path for signal transmission. So router is providing suitable path. It is selecting a suitable path. It is providing the suitable path for the signal. It is providing suitable path means it is selecting suitable path means it provides the suitable. Suitable means it has a selection. Oh, so this is suitable, this is not suitable, isn't it? That means it is selection. If it is selection, there must be two or more than two paths. Is it correct? So router is basically placed inside the optical network that provides a suitable path. It provides the suitable path. It provides the suitable path means there are parallelly multiple paths to connect the devices. This path is there, this path is also there, this path is also there, and router is deciding that which path is to be connected between one station to other station. So this is the router. Okay, I have drawn very simple diagram, but actually it is complicated. So lots of the stations are connected together, and there are lots of the alternate paths, and out of those lots of the alternate paths, router assigns the path for a particular communication, and that router which assigns the path for a particular communication is called routing. What the router does is routing. Okay, router does routing. So router does routing. Okay, so these are the elements. So if you go again for that figure, the optical network, so these trunks are having multiple options. Okay, so suppose station 2 want to communicate station 1, or station 1 to communicate station 2 or 3 or 4, then station 1 will send the data. It is going to this node, and this node will decide whether to send the data to station 3. Where is the station 3? Because station 1 has attached the address of station 3 to the data, and that's why this node knows that the data is going for station 3. Now how to send is decided by this node. This node may send the data through this link, through this link, through this link to the station 3, or it may send the data through this link and station 3, or it may send the data through this link to the station 3, or it may send the data through this link, through this link, through this link, and through this link. It is rarest case because it is already going to this node which is connected with the station 3. Okay, so it is finding the efficient way to establish the communication link. So this node may act as a router. Okay, so this is for example, because it is very simple network. There are maybe nodes which are separate and routers which are separate. There may be some nodes acting as a routers and some nodes are acting as only nodes. All the possibilities are there. Okay, so this is about the router. Stations are there, trunks are there, then nodes are there, topologies, and router. router provides suitable path for the signal transmission. So if it is providing suitable path, means it is selecting the suitable path. If it is selecting, there must be selection options. That means multiple paths are available. Okay. So optical network is having the topologies as bus topology, ring topology, star topology, mesh topology, okay, hybrid topology. Okay. So as we know, the bus topology is like this. Just we have discussed. This is bus, and these are the stations connected to a bus. Okay. So ring topology. So there are stations, and all stations are connected in a ring fashion. So this is ring topology. Okay. So this is a ring. So star topology, there is a node or hub, and to this node and hub multiple stations are connected, or to this node and hub multiple nodes also may have been connected. Okay. So this node may have the station, this also have the station, this also have multiple stations, or this may have one more node. That node may have further stations, or may have further network of network. So it may have station, it may have node. Okay. So this is star topology. Or simple star may have one node and multiple stations, but if multiple nodes are in star, it will become mesh. So this also can be called as a mesh or a hybrid. Okay. So hybrid is having bus, star, mesh, ring all together, or few of them together. This is hybrid. Okay. So all these are topologies. The topology is the way in which the network is connected. The way in which the network is connected is topology, isn't it? So optical networks are also having the categories. So what do you mean by local area network? This is one category. What do you mean by campus network? This is another category. What do you mean by metropolitan area network? This is one more category. What do you mean by wide area network? That is one more category. So above wide area network, there is in wide area network there is multiple size of the network. So maybe that wide area network like the city or city to city network may be there, or multiple city state wise network may be there, or multiple state country wise wide network is there, or multiple countries may be connected, and that may be the worldwide network may be there. So wide area network in metropolitan area network, in campus like universities, in industry campus area network is there, and local area network may be there within the laboratory. Local area network may be there, or within the campus, small campus local area network will be there. So local area network is the smallest network. Campus area network is slightly more larger than that. Metropolitan area, many such LANs or campus networks are connected together, or individual stations are connected together. It becomes metropolitan area network. And such metropolitan area, such campus area, such more local area, such individual terminals are connected to very large area, that is wide area network. maybe under in the district or taluka level, or maybe in the state level, maybe the country level, or maybe the worldwide level, that is wide area network. All these are the network categories. Okay. Obviously the network other than the LAN and campus network, always there is a mix of the topologies. Okay, only LAN can have the mix unique topology, but campus wide network will have mix of the topologies. Metropolitan definitely have mix of the topology, and worldwide you will have all topologies together. So this is about the computer this optical fiber networks. Okay, this is about the optical fiber networks. What we have seen in the optical fiber networks is optical fiber network is a optical fiber based network, which is very fastest network, which is very flexible network, which is very cost effective network, which is very long distance communication possible in the network because of the low loss. That's why it is having a great need. It is very cost effective, it is very reliable, it is very long life network, and it is very low loss. So that's why a very long distance communication network, and it is having very large bandwidth. So the computer optical fiber networks are needed over the other networks. Like there is no delay also in the satellite communication. There is large delay, noticeable delay, which is not there in these optical networks. So it can cover very large area. So what are the elements in the optical network? The elements are basically the stations for whom for those which are want to communicate among each other. All the stations are there, and then to connect these stations there are trunks, and to have the connections of many stations there is a nodes, and in which these nodes and stations are connected, in which fashion they are connected, then that is topologies. And to route the data traffic there are routers. These are the elements of this data. And then there are topologies like bus, then ring, star, mesh, hybrid, etc. And there are category of the networks: local area network, campus area network, metropolitan area network, and wide area networks. So these are the about optical networks. So as these are the virtual classes, we are cutting short the theories. Okay, so we are doing it very quick. We are very shortly having the introduction of these things. Okay, in previous previous chapters also, and this also. So next point is optical amplifiers. Optical amplifiers. So optical amplifiers operate solely on optical domain, which no interconversion of photon to electron is there. So amplifier, to amplify the optical signal, electronic amplifiers are not used. So there is no question of converting optical signal into electrical signal, electronic signal, and again that is current and voltage, and again reconverting it to optical. This is not the case. Optical amplifiers amplifies the optical signal directly into optical signal. There is no conversion. So there is no interconversion of photons to electrons. Okay. So optical amplifiers are very, very useful then. So if the conversions are there, there will be losses, there will be efficiencies, isn't it? So there will be loss of the signals. So if the optical amplifiers are available, then directly optical signal can be amplified without any conversion. So optical amplifiers operate solely on the optical domain with no interconversion of photon to electron. Okay. So optical amplifiers are placed at intervals along the fiber link. Obviously, it will be placed on the fiber link. Okay. And to provide the linear amplification in the transmitted optical signal. So it should be linear amplification, otherwise it will create the distortions. So regenerative repeaters are replaced by optical amplifiers. Okay. So there are regenerative repeaters on the link, isn't it? So link is there, then there is a regenerative repeaters which recreates the signal and sends further. So one source have sent some signal, that signal weakens after traveling of hundreds of kilometers, tens of hundreds of kilometers, and due to the loss the signal amplitude has reduced. Now this signal is become now very weak. So for those signals there are the repeaters which receive the signal, then regenerate the signal and send further the signal. So these are the regenerative repeaters. They regenerate the signal, the sequence of 1s and 0, they sense it and again they regenerate new sequence with the same values. This is called regeneration. And these are the repeaters along the distance. Suppose we are having the 10,000 distance link or 1,000 distance link. After is 50 or 100 kilometers, such repeater is required, because after 100 kilometer signal becomes so weak that signal may not be detected after 50 or 100 kilometers. So at 100 kilometer there is a regenerative repeater. Whatever 1s and 0s are coming from one end, they receive at, convert it to electrical signal, again electrical signal converted into optical pulses and then again resend over the, this is called regenerative repeaters. Okay, this we have seen in the advantages also in case of general discussion in the advantages, first chapter, second chapter. So regenerative repeaters are not required now. If optical amplifiers are there, those optical amplifiers can be used in between the links and optical amplifiers will directly amplify the optical signal into optical signal and it will continue its propagation. So there is a reduction in the complexity of the network. There is reduction in the loss efficiencies are almost 1. Almost efficiencies are almost 1. There is no interventions, disturbance of any external circuitry, external electronics in the link. So regenerative repeaters are replaced by amplifiers. It is very big advantage, isn't it? So regenerative repeaters, why these are required? Regenerative repeaters are required photoelectric devices for source detectors together with the substantial electronic circuitry, isn't it? Regenerative repeaters, they sense the signal, they amplify the signal, they again convert it into optical signal. For sensing, detector is required, again converting into optical sources are required, and to amplify and to equalize the circuitry are required. So for the source driving, detector driving also circuitry are required. So substantial electronics is required for regenerative repeater, and all these source, detector and electronic circuitry are avoided now by optical amplifier, one single unit optical amplifier. So regenerative repeaters are doing pulse slicing, retiming and pulse shaping, etc. And these repeaters have lot of effect on the overall signal due to this processing, slicing, retiming and reshaping the pulses, because pulses might have dispersed. Okay, so pulse might have dispersed. So in due course that pulse have the diffusion tails, etc., and the time of the pulse duration must have been increased, and then while regenerating this pulse is again original pulse regenerated. So reshaping is required, so retiming is required, because this pulse is received at the particular time, and then this pulse processing requires some time, and then this pulse is placed over the same fiber after some small delta time delay, because the processing requires some time. So slicing the pulse, retiming and reshaping, all these the regenerative repeaters functions are there, and that creates, each function is creating the delay, each function is absorbing some power dissipation for running itself. Electrical power is to be required, power supply is to be required, and at the same time it is introducing the delay into it and having the complexity. Okay, so these all are avoided with the optical amplifiers. The optical amplifier provides a much simpler solution in that a single line component used for any kind of modulation or virtually at the transmission rate, at any transmission rate, virtually whatever the transmission rate, number of bits are flowing per second are there, at the same transmission rate it will work. So no interference is there to the original data flow. Original data is flowing just like that, and that data flow is having whatever the maximum value, at that data rate all the signal is getting amplified by the optical amplifier. So it is almost not interfering the signal. So it is very, very advantageous. So optical fiber provides much simpler solution, isn't it? Optical fiber provides very simpler solution, that a single line component is required, no multiple components. In case of repeaters, there is a source, there is a detector, there is other electronics. So it is not, it is requiring only single component used for kind of modulation, or virtually it can be having working, functioning at any transmission rate. Moreover, such device is bidirectional. So if we are having the repeater, suppose, and this repeater is sensing this signal as a source, then converting it to electrical, then this is amplified, and then it is connected, it is detector is sensing its signal, amplified, connected to the source, and source is sending signal in this direction. So repeater is unidirectional. For bidirectional, again we have to connect one more repeater here. So detector detecting this signal, converting it to electron, amplified, and it is given to the source, and source sending in this. So for bidirectional, two repeaters are simultaneously being employed, but this device are bidirectional. They can amplify the optical power coming in this direction as well as optical power signal flowing in opposite direction. So these devices are bidirectional devices, and if it is sufficiently linear, if this device is linear, it allows multiplexing operation. If it is, and it is linear, most of the device. So linear devices also allows the multiplexing operations, that is several signals at different optical wavelengths, that is wavelength division multiplexing is possible. Okay, multiple signals simultaneously can be transmitted, multiple signals simultaneously can be amplified. So multiplexing is allowed. So optical amplifier for single mode fiber systems, effects of the signal dispersion is very, very small. So obviously single mode is also having the effect dispersion very small. Attenuation is due to the fiber losses becomes major limitation on the repeater slicing. So in single mode case the dispersion is small, but attenuation and dispersion becomes the limitation on the repeater. In such system, they do not require full regeneration of the transmitted signal at each repeater. Okay. So if the dispersion is small, attenuation is there, and there is a limitation on the repeater, and then regeneration is fully not done. So in that case, the optical amplifier of the signal, amplification of the signal proves very sufficient. So if the optical amplifier is used in such cases, so it can prove a sufficient solution, okay, for that problem. So at early distance we can employ the optical amplifiers, so that it can have the replacement of all the repeaters, and it is a very simple and single component, so that optical amplifier can be effectively used. There are two main approaches to optical amplification. Amplification can be done by two ways, okay, and these nowadays these are concentrated on semiconductors. So other type of the amplifications are also there, but in semiconductor the optical amplifiers which utilize the stimulated emission from injected carriers, very same as that of the lasers, isn't it? Stimulated in emission of the injected carriers is in injection laser, okay. So in lasers these are used. So this is one approach which is used in the amplification, and second approach is used, that is fiber amplifiers, okay. So these are the optical amplifiers which the devices which use the stimulated emission effect just of the injected carriers, okay. So pumping is there, and that pumping, just like the laser device, this device is having the pumping, and this basically this pumping is optical pumping, okay. Instead of electrical, it is this pumping is optical pumping, and this pumping have the population inversion and will have the stimulated emission. So this is used, this principle is used in the amplifiers, optical amplifier. Also the second approach is there, that is fiber amplifiers are there, in which the gain is provided by either stimulated Raman scattering or stimulated Brillouin scattering, okay. Scattering which is having the loss, non-linear scattering having the loss, and we are avoiding it, but the same effect is very useful in the fiber amplifiers, okay. Or also fiber amplifiers can be alternatively achieved with doping of the rare earth materials. Rare earth dopants are used in the fiber, and then rare earth dopants can those fibers which are having rare earth doping can act as a fiber amplifiers. So in case of fiber amplifiers, either stimulated Raman or stimulated Brillouin scattering effect is used, or the fiber is doped with rare earth dopants, and that fiber is used as an amplifier along with the main fiber. So two approaches are there. One is using the device, and that device is having the stimulated emission from injected carriers. Second is using the fiber. With the main fiber, one more fiber is used for a small piece of fiber, maybe few hundred meters or few 1 kilometer or like that, or maybe less than that, and that fiber along with the main fiber is connected wherever the amplification is required, and that fiber is using the principle of stimulated Raman scattering or stimulated Brillouin scattering for the amplification. Or second approach for the fiber amplifier is, second method we can say, is that fiber is doped with rare earth materials, and then that fiber can amplify. So two approaches, the device is stimulated emission injection carrier principle is using, and second is fiber amplifiers in which either stimulated Raman stimulated Brillouin scattering is used, or rare earth doped fiber is there, that amplify. Both amplifier types, okay, both these types, that is semiconductor and fiber types, specifically rare earth and Raman, okay. Fiber in which the fiber in which rare earth is there or Raman is there. So either semiconductor or this fiber approach, both these amplifier types have ability to provide high gain. They can provide high gain over a wide spectral bandwidths. Gain is high as well as spectral bandwidth is also sufficiently wide provided by the amplifier, that is semiconductor amplifier, and in case of fiber, rare earth and Raman amplifiers. Okay, but in case of fiber, Brilliant amplifier is having narrow bandwidth. Although the gain is high, bandwidth is narrow. Okay, so both the types of amplifiers have semiconductor and fiber, rare earth and Raman in case of fiber, ability to provide high gain as well as wide spectral bandwidths. Okay, making them eminently suitable, highly suitable for optical fiber system applications. Okay, so as we know, the systems are having gain and bandwidth product, isn't it? And this product is important in case of optical devices. As gain increases, bandwidth decreases, bandwidth increases, gain decreases, isn't it? So these amplifiers are achieving both gain and bandwidth higher. Okay, so they are becoming very, very eminently suitable for these applications, system applications, except the Brilliant. Brilliant is having narrow bandwidth, but again, though the Brilliant is having narrow bandwidth, it is having its own special application. Okay, every property is used as application in this. Then the semiconductor optical amplifiers offer an advantage due to their smaller size and also because they can be integrated to produce subsystems which are essential elements of the present current optical communication systems and networks. So the device which is using the injection phenomena, pumping phenomena, stimulated emission phenomena is also very smaller. Obviously the fiber amplifiers are very small because they are fibers, optical fibers, and so amplifiers are small in size, so they become very easy to integrate with the systems or subsystems original, and with the current whatever available communication systems are there, with them it can be very easily integrated, it can be very easily used, connected. This is the advantage. Now this is the figure which shows the gain bandwidth characteristics of different optical amplifiers. Just now we have discussed some amplifiers, and there is a Raman and SOE is there, semiconductor optical amplifier. SOE semiconductor, SOE means semiconductor optical amplifier. Okay. So SOE is semiconductor optical amplifier. Okay, SOE, semiconductor optical amplifier. So there is Raman and semiconductor optical amplifier is there, which is having very wide range, wide bandwidth, isn't it? So from wavelength 1.3 maybe 1.45 micrometer, isn't it? Then there is a semiconductor optical amplifiers, SOAs, which can have this very wide bandwidth. They range from all together from 1.3 or 1.28 to 1.65, very large bandwidth is offered. Then Raman and optical parametric amplifiers are there. Parametric amplifiers we have not discussed. So these are also providing high gain as well as wide bandwidth. They are of the order of say 1.4 micrometer to 1.65. Then fiber amplifiers are there, that is rare earth doped fibers, that is erbium doped fiber is there, EDFA, erbium doped fiber amplifier, EDFA, erbium doped fiber amplifier, erbium doped fiber amplifier, it is EDFA. So some EDFA are there that working in the C and L bands. Okay, so C and L bands they are working, So these are having very high gain also. So, or almost 40 AU gain is there, and bandwidth is very large. So maybe 1.47 to 1.60, very large bandwidth. So all these examples are having very high gain and high bandwidth, but the Boolean amplifier is there. Okay, Boolean amplifier which is having very narrow bandwidth, but sufficiently large gain is also there. Okay, Boolean amplifier is very narrow bandwidth is there, few hundred of megahertz bandwidth is there. So in nanometer it is very few, fraction of nanometer is there, 1 nanometer or like that. In nanometer it is fraction of nanometer bandwidth is there. So Boolean amplifier, and that's why Boolean amplifiers are used. They are also having the use in the local networks, in the subscribers or subscribing networks. If from node to subscriber there is a link, the Boolean amplifier can be used instead of this type of the amplifiers. Boolean amplifier can be used, which is having, because the subscriber requires only small bandwidth as compared to the main trunk bandwidths. Because in the trunk application, all the data is connected together, is flowing, propagating together. That's why very large bandwidth is required. But individual subscriber, individual station will require very small bandwidth as compared to trunk bandwidth. There the Boolean amplifiers can be used. So it is also having its own use. So this is about the optical amplifier gain bandwidth characteristics for different amplifiers, Raman and SOA. Then SOA specially having very wide bandwidth. Then Raman optical and parametric amplifiers for higher wavelengths. Then there is doped fiber amplifiers are there, erbidium doped fiber amplifiers, EDFA. But the Boolean amplifier is having the very peculiarity, speciality, that is very small bandwidth it is offering. So obviously it can also have the application in the local area network for the individual subscriber, etc. Okay, so this is about the bandwidth characteristic of the different optical amplifiers. So from this we can say that it is observed that semiconductor optical amplifier SOA, erbidium doped optical amplifier EDFA and Raman fiber amplifiers all provide wide spectral bandwidths. From the figure we can see all these are providing wide spectral bandwidth, isn't it? Wide spectral bandwidth. Hence these optical amplifier types lend themselves to applications involving wavelength division multiplexing. So if very wide bandwidth is there, that bandwidth can be divided and we can have the wavelength division multiplexing, lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, dash lambda n. So all the wavelengths can be simultaneously sent over the same fiber, and that is called wavelength division multiplexing. And as these amplifiers are amplifying very wide spectrum, so in case of wavelength division multiplexing technique, it can be used for amplifying all the wavelengths simultaneously with single amplifier. So the semiconductor optical amplifier SOA, erbidium doped amplifier, EDFA and Raman fiber amplifier all provide wide spectral bandwidths. So which is useful in the WDA also. Okay, wavelength division. Hence these optical amplifier types lend themselves an application involving the WDM. Division multiplexing. Okay, so in contrast, the Boolean fiber amplifier has a very narrow spectral bandwidth, around 50 megahertz or like that. Okay, so therefore it cannot be employed for the main fiber amplification. But the Boolean fiber amplifier, however, is used for channel selection within the WDM system. It is very important. Though it can be used in the local network for subscriber, but the application which is very highly important is this channel selection. Not only amplification, it is used as a channel selection. Channel selection is sort of filtering. So suppose one subscriber is having a particular wavelength assigned to him. So that channel is selected for that subscriber by this amplifier. If this amplifier is tuned for that particular wavelength, then it can pass very small wavelength band and it rejects all other bands, and that is called channel selection because it is having very small bandwidth, 50 megahertz. So there are WDM very large bandwidth, say W1, W2, W3, etc. Okay, lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 2, lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda 4, dash 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 dash, lambda n minus 1, lambda n, okay, lambda 5, lambda n, okay, and a particular subscriber is requiring lambda 5, suppose. Then the Boolean fiber amplifier is employed on this line, and it is tapped from this line and it is connected a Boolean fiber amplifier and then the subscriber station. Now what this Boolean amplifier will do, because it is tuned to only lambda 5, okay, it is tuned to lambda 5, it can amplify only lambda 5, it will not amplify lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda 4, lambda n. It will only amplify lambda 5 because it is having the bandwidth only 50 megahertz or less. So it is having the limited amplification range, and that's why it can send to this station only lambda 5 and all other lambda are attenuated, not selected. So this is called channel selection, which is very, very important in case of WDM, wavelength division multiplexing. So how to separate out the mixed wavelengths? So with the help of Boolean fiber amplifier, you can select. Okay, there is a selection, it is selector, it is filter within the WDM system, and by allowing the amplification of the particular channel without boosting other nearby channels. Okay, and Boolean fiber is finding very, very great this functioning in case of the WDM then, and WDM is possible very much possible with the help of such component. If this component was not there, it would have become difficult. So other passive components must have been used, and they are using for separating the for mixing, etc., couplers, etc. So grating and diffraction effect, etc. are used. So whereas the SOAs exhibits, okay, semiconductor optical amplifier exhibit low power consumption. It is the speciality of the SOA. SOA is having very, very low power consumption, and their single mode waveguide structure make them particularly appropriate for use with the single mode fiber. Their structure is single mode structure, so it is very useful and compatible with single mode fibers. So SOA is having the speciality low power consumption, and Boolean fiber is having the speciality of very narrow spectral bandwidth, and that's why it can be used in the channel selection. So this is about the points of the optical amplifiers. So we will continue optical amplifier in next lecture. Okay. So all of you are doing the projects, do it quickly. You have to simulate the project, and you have to show. Some of the students are for example, some mobile or wireless circuits are proposing, but these circuits, how we will simulate it? If simulating facilities are there in the simulator, just do not select any circuit which is present on the net, and first check the simulator capacities, and with the simulator capacities, if the simulator is able to simulate the circuit, then you go for the circuit. So many students just they are dumping any of the topic. So I am asking them, is it possible to simulate? They are saying yes, 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 it is possible to simulate. I will simulate. So simulate by. Okay, so please understand, if you want to do anything, study it properly. I want to simulate it. What is the simulator I am using? What are the facilities available? So just दे दो एक टॉपिक और देख लेंगे सिम्युलेटर क्या होता है बाद में. सो नंतर तुम्हाला सिम्युलेटर बघायला गेले की त्यात हे नाही ते नाही ते नाही, मग त्यावेळेस एकदम धावपळ उडते. सिम्युलेटर बघा आधी काय असतो, कुठलं सिम्युलेशन वापरणार तुम्ही, त्याच्यामध्ये ते आहे का पहा, फॅसिलिटीज कंपोनंट्स. तुम्ही मागच्या प्रोजेक्टला काय केलं नाही असं दिसतंय त्यानुसार. सो प्लीज गो प्रॉपरली फॉर सिलेक्टिंग द टॉपिक. सिलेक्ट immediately. If you want to change topic, immediately communicate, because if your simulator is not having the but do not change immediately. If simulator is not having this sensor, you can simulate the sensor also by giving the variable resistor as a sensor. Okay, so all sensors are not there in the simulator, so immediately do not change the top project. You can use the variable resistance. The variable resistance will provide a variable voltage, and variable voltage can be used as a sensor. Sensor ultimately what it does, it depends on the parameter, changes the voltage or current. So use the potentiometer instead of sensor. Okay, don't be panic. लगेच घाबरून जाऊन लगेच चेंज करू नका. परंतु मायक्रोवेव्ह किंवा असे ॲप्लिकेशन असतील त्याचं जर सिम्युलेशन तुम्हाला इझिली अवेलेबल नसेल तर मग बघा, विचार करा. जॅमर असेल किंवा आणखी काही रडार असेल किंवा आणखी काही असेल. सो अल्ट्रासॉनिकला तुम्ही काय करणार, अल्ट्रासॉनिक सिम्युलेटरमध्ये असेल तर ठीक आहे, नसेल तर त्याला परत व्होल्टेजची पल्स, ॲम्प्लिट्यूड व्हेरिएबलची काहीतरी प्रोव्हिजन करायला लागेल तुम्हाला. डिस्टन्स, फिजिकल डिस्टन्स वगैरे असेल किंवा आणखी कुठलं डिटेक्शन असेल. ओके, ऑब्स्टॅकल डिटेक्शन असेल, लाईन फॉलोअरचं ऑप्टिकल डिटेक्शन असेल, मग त्याला तुम्हाला काहीतरी सिग्नल जनरेट करायला लागेल इन सम वे ऑर अदर. ओके, सो हे सगळं विचार करून तुम्ही करू शकता. दॅट इज क्रिएटिव्हिटी. यू रिक्वायर क्रिएटिव्हिटी इन दॅट एक्झिक्युटिंग द सिम्युलेशन ऑल्सो. ओके, सो त्याला वेळ लागतो, त्यामुळे ताबडतोब तुम्ही ते संपवून टाका. ओके, सो विल कंटिन्यू 6th chapter. Tomorrow we'll meet tomorrow. Okay, I am now closing this lecture session. Thank you.